Hey folks, Captain Matt here. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us tonight. We have a great video to share with you. We're going to look at the 1-ton bags for the third time. The first time we looked at them, we talked about doing them. Second time we actually built them, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about them because now they are actively growing. And I can't tell you how excited I am the way that they are growing.
Worm castings are the best fertilizer on the planet and can revitalize soils that have been ravaged by chemical fertilizers. Captain Matt is not your average worm farmer. This year, he'll produce 10 tons of worm castings in his garage to sell in his local community. Matt wants to mentor you to help you achieve your worm goals. He doesn't throw big words or complicated information at you. He's a farmer with dirt under his fingernails. He'll teach you proven approaches that work. Subscribe now and then head over to wormpeople.com to jumpstart your worm farming journey.
But remember, we started out, we built a 3x3, made them strong enough because the base of the bag is 3 feet by 3 feet. So they sit perfectly on top of the pallet. The arms here are 56 inches long. And the arms are here for a reason because you want the bag to stand tall so it doesn't end up looking like one of these bags over here, fat and floppy. We just want it to stand up really tall and make sure we get every bit of room in it. I was thinking as I was putting the worms in that, how am I going to put some good nitrogen in there with them? You know, we got plenty of the carbon with all the leaf compost and wood chips. And I said, all right, we'll put a pad of wheatgrass on. And then I said, no, I can't do that because it's a finished product when it's done. I don't want wheatgrass all through it. And I realized, well, what we'll do is we'll put it down and leave it there. And when I put more soil in, I'll take the pad out first. So we went ahead and we put the worms in. And I tried it for the first week. We fed them. We put the pad down. I put a little more food on top of the pad. We watered them, got them all in really comfy position. And much to my amazement, we came out the next day and they were covered, the pads of wheatgrass were covered with worms. And that's a great sign because they're active and they're climbing up on top and they're underneath and they're all over the place. So today, I just want to share with you some of the mathematics about this. And then I'm going to pull the pad, show you how I will pull it. And then what we'll do after that will be self-explanatory. But what we have in this bag here, 202 gallons. And I wanted to figure out how long it was going to take me to fill this, at what rate I was going to go. And I thought to myself, well, we got December, January, February, and March. I'd really like them ready by April if I can, maybe mid-April. And so we did the math. And what we figured is if I put, on Monday, I put 5 gallons in. And then on Thursday, I feed them every day, by the way. And then on Thursday, I'll come back and put another 5 gallons. That's 10 gallons a week. And if you do the math there, what we're looking at is we're looking at 20 weeks. We'll fill this up, and the 20 weeks are basically December, January, February, and March. And then we have a little time in April to top them off if we need to. And again, if they're not high enough, if I didn't feel we got where we wanted to, I can make 5 bags instead of 6 and just add them, fill the bags up if I have a buyer that wants a full bag. So it was really exciting to know, okay, now I have a timetable. So we put 6,000 worms in. 6,000 of them is probably a really good number. But we're going to add more because we're breeding worms. Every 3 weeks we're producing 9,000 worms right now. And what we're going to do is once the worms hatch, I'm pulling the adults out and we're going to hatch the eggs. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to take the new babies, or 3 weeks, take the new babies and gently put them all in here. So we're adding another colony of young worms to this. Those worms will grow fast the way we're feeding them, but we're going to have so many worms in there that this bag is, if we build it 10 gallons a week, we're talking about, we got a lot of worm castings in these bags. And that, to me, is very exciting. It's time to 5 more gallons in, so I'll pull the bag. Luke is looking down right at that, at the massive number of worms on top. They're in and through everything else, and they're underneath. And then what I'll do is I will grab a hold of the pad, take the pad out. We'll just put them right over here on top of the plastic. All right, so we took the pad off. I'm going to put 5 gallons of soil or 5 gallons of leaf compost on top. You want it wet. You do never want to add anything in here dry and expect it to get wet. So give it a good, you can't, remember with these bags, you cannot overwater because they're porous and they will allow the water to come out. So what I'll do now that we have the soil on and we're building is I'll take some of Captain Matt's special mix and we'll put the mix down for the worms. And we have 6,000 worms in here. This will be eaten up by the morning. And then we will take the pad and put the pad back right on top with the few worms that tried to escape. I'm going to put a little food right on top for the worms. And then the next thing we do is water. Remember, every time you put water on a worm, make sure it's dechlorinated. And the best way to get dechlorinated water is put it in a 5-gallon bucket, let it sit overnight. If you have an aerator, aerate it, it will help you get it out. And now I'm going to water it. Now, I water this and feed this every single day like this. And because I want them eating, and I want them pooping. And now we know that they have their carbon, that we know that they have their nitrogen, and so I'll just water it up and keep it really wet. When we get up to about this high, each bag, where my top watering is no longer getting down deep enough to keep the sides wet, then I will wrap the lower section in black plastic. And again, that's to keep evaporation from going off. And so the next thing I'll do is send them back to their own little world by putting a cover on. And when the cover's on, they will get very active under the cover. Although they would, red wigglers, even if you didn't put a plastic on, red wigglers would come right up top and eat everything up there, but they sure enjoy it when they have plenty of dark. And so that is what I'm going to be doing every day. Now, twice a week I pull the pad out first, then put the soil in. But every night I feed them. If you're feeding a bag like this or something even similar, and you put the feed down and they don't eat it in one day, you're probably feeding too much at a time. I like to come back and know that in the morning there's just a few bits here and there. That tells me that we really are feeding them exactly right on. And so then we feed them every day, and we just keep raising the bag, and we'll give you a report maybe when we get halfway through, and then we'll bring you to March 31st, where the bags should be full and ready for shipping if all goes well. And we're expecting everything to go well, because after all, we're worm people. Everything always goes well for us. So I went into the discussions on wormpeople.com, and I want to tell you something. The discussions between you guys, I almost feel like I should be paying you guys something on it, because I'm getting taught so much. I am learning all over the place, and it's really super to see, and I encourage you, keep it up. All right, so folks, listen, thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for looking, and thank you so much for sharing with each other and sharing with me. And so until next time, guys, this is Captain Matt signing out. God bless you all, and we'll see you real soon.
Subscribe now, and then head over to wormpeople.com to jumpstart your worm farming journey.